Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvajakaracharya Astar Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnuvadaya Krishna Sai Bhutale Shmati Bhaktivedanta Swami. Namaste. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, Questions by King Parikshit, Text 4. Shrinvata, Shradaya, Nityam, Grinatash, Cha, Sva, Chestatam, Kalena, Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan, Vishate, Hridi, Shrinvatam Shradaya Nityam, Grinatascha Swachestitam, Kalena Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi, Shrinvata Shradaya Nityam, Grinatascha Swachestitam, Kalena Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi, Shrinvata Shradaya Nityam, Grinitascha Swachestitam, Kalena Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi, Tanaya Nityam, Vishate Hridi, Shrinvatam Shradaya Nityam, Yatha-chestitam, Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan Vishate. Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi, Tanaya Nityam, Yatha-chestitam, Yatha-chestitam, Kalena Nati Dirgena, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. Vaishnavis. nityam Grinatascha svachestitam Kalena natidirgena Bhagavana Kaihari Shrindvata Shradaya Nityam Grinatascha svachestitam Kalena natidirgena Vanisate Hridi Shrindvataha, of those who hear. Shraddhaya, in earnestness. Nityam, regularly. Always. Grinataha, taking the matter. Cha, also. Swachestitam, seriously by one's own endeavor. Kalena, duration. Na, not. Atidirgena, very prolonged time. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Vishate, becomes manifest. Hridi, within one's heart. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, manifested in their hearts within a short time. Purport. Cheap devotees, or materialistic devotees of the Lord, are very much desirous to see the Lord personally without meeting the requisite qualifications. Such third-grade devotees should know well that material attachment and seeing the Lord face to face cannot go together. It is not such a mechanical process that the professional Bhagavatam reciters can do the job on behalf of their third-grade materialistic pseudo-devotee. The professional men are useless in this connection because they are neither self-realized nor interested in the liberation of the audience. They are simply interested in maintaining the material establishment of family attachment and earning some material benefits out of the profession. Maharaj Parikshit had no more than 7 days to live. But for others, Maharaj Parikshit personally recommends that one hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, nityam, always by one's own effort, and with serious devotion also. That will help one to see Lord Sri Krishna manifested in one's heart within no time. The pseudo-devotee, however, is very anxious to see the Lord according to his whims, not making any serious effort to hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and without detachment from material benefit. That is not the way recommended by an authority like Maharaj Parikshit, who heard and benefited by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. So, at the beginning of the Kali Yuga, the sages gathered in the Naimisharanya forest. And they were very concerned about the fate of people in the coming age of Kali. And they recommended this process, that one hear the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the whole Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken originally for that purpose. And it's been set down in writing by Vyasadeva at the instruction of his guru, Narada Muni. And we are carrying on that tradition of regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this was what Srila Prabhupada brought with him from India when he got on the Jaladuta. The books that he brought were the first 3 volumes comprising the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he dedicated huge amounts of time towards translating and printing those volumes. And only when he had those volumes finished did he come to the Western world. And he instituted not only the printing and the distribution of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but also he instituted the regular presentation and hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam in the Srimad Bhagavatam class that he established. So the verse says again, persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, manifested in their hearts within a short time. So sometimes at the beginning of the Bhagavatam class, Archita Prabhu especially, but others sometimes also chant the verse, Nasta praye shabadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So that means those who regularly hear the Srimad Bhagavatam class and serve the pure devotee, devotional service will be established in their hearts. Firm devotional service will be established in their hearts very quickly. So it removes the contamination within the heart that's preventing us from seeing Krishna. So therefore it's recommended throughout the Bhagavatam that it be regularly heard, that actually in the second verse of the first canto, it stated, Kimva Paraya, what other book is necessary? Of course, Srila Prabhupada did translate other books, and he wanted us to study them also. The preliminary study is Bhagavad Gita. The graduate study is the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the postgraduate study is the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And of course, there's the Nectar of Devotion also, and many other supplementary literatures. But Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. I can recall in the 1970s, we didn't have all of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the first couple of cantos. But then, from time to time, I'd be in the temple, and a new volume of Srimad Bhagavatam would arrive from Srila Prabhupada. The BBT truck would come in to the temples, like the Miami temple that I was in. And at that time, the BBT was shipping the books from Los Angeles all over the United States with its own truck. And the devotees would just stop everything and take those precious boxes of books, put them in the book room. And then I remember I would stop everything. I'd get the new Bhagavatam volume and just read it from cover to cover when it came out. So they came out over the years. Of course, now we're very fortunate. We have all of the volumes there. BBT is printing them, keeping them in print, distributing. Some of the devotees are distributing full sets. So we're taking the matter. We're trying to take the matter very seriously. So another point I wanted to go over was this matter of seeing Krishna face to face. Srila Prabhupada mentions that in the purport, seeing Krishna face to face. And in his letters and talks with his disciples individually, he would often tell them, you just follow this process of Krishna consciousness very seriously. Chant, the 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles. And very quickly, he said, you will come face to face with Krishna. If he was speaking to them, he would often say in his class or in his conversations, just as we are sitting face to face, then you will also be with Krishna face to face. And you will talk with him, you will play with him, you will dance with him. He said it very, very often. So sometimes, he was speaking in that mood. He would say, yes, you come to the temple, you see the beautiful form of Radha and Krishna, and you're seeing Krishna face to face. But other times, he would express a different mood. Like once, 1975, in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada was speaking with one of his disciples, Vishal. And Vishal said to Srila Prabhupada, you told me once that if I read the first 9 cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam, at that time I would be fully Krishna conscious. And Srila Prabhupada asked him, what do you mean, fully Krishna conscious? And Vishal replied, seeing Krishna face to face. And Srila Prabhupada replied to him, oh, that's what you think being fully Krishna conscious is? Of course, they were in Vrindavan. They were at the Krishna Balaram temple, and many people were coming to the temple, taking their darshan, of the deities of Radha and Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said, so many people are coming to this temple, they're seeing Krishna face to face in the sense of, do you think they're all fully Krishna conscious? So what is this? What's the real meaning of fully Krishna conscious? Some Indian man was there, and he said, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma na Sochati na Kankshati. And Prabhupada said, okay, that's part of being Brahma Bhuta, being realized of Brahman. That's part of being fully Krishna conscious. But the real thing is to understand Krishna is a master, I am Krishna's servant. So if you fully realize that, then that is Krishna consciousness. To the extent, Srila Prabhupada said, that you're thinking, oh, I can be like Krishna, then to that extent you're not Krishna conscious. And Vishal said, thank you very much. So sometimes Srila Prabhupada was stressing an aspect of devotional service called vipralamba, service in the mood of separation. And he particularly said that Lord Chaitanya was in that mood, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, feeling intense separation from Krishna. So not the mood, Srila Prabhupada said, like Srila Prabhupada said, oh, one person was talking to me and saying, last night I was dreaming, like I was seeing Krishna face to face and Krishna was pulling on my sari. And he said, no, not like that. Not, as Srila Prabhupada was stressing in this purport, that, the third class, cheap devotees, materialistic devotees, in other circumstances he called them sahajas, they're thinking, yes, I'm seeing Krishna, I'm so great, Krishna is coming to me. He said that isn't the mood of the followers of Lord Chaitanya. He said, Lord Chaitanya himself was saying, Yugayatam nimishena chakshusha prabhashayatam shunyayatam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. So he's saying, I'm in your absence, in separation from you, I'm feeling that a moment has become just like a yuga, millions of years, and tears are flowing from my eyes out of these feelings of separation, viraha, sometimes called vipralamba. So that mood of the devotee is, yes, I'm not qualified to see Krishna, but nevertheless, let me keep serving. And then somehow or other, when Krishna may be merciful, he'll come to me, he'll reveal himself to me. So, Srila Prabhupada was stressing that mood of devotional service. But Krishna actually is present in that mood of separation. Like when Krishna, from the external point of view, left Vrindavan village to go to Mathura and Dwarka and other places, the residents of Vrindavan were feeling very intense separation. But the acharyas inform us that that means Krishna was present, but in his aprakata form, his not visible to the ordinary senses, but Krishna is still present in that vipralamba seva. So, in Nectar Devotion and Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are elaborate descriptions of that vipralamba seva. It's very, in one sense, confidential subject matter, but it's explained in great detail there. The 6 Goswamis, they were wandering around Vrindavan, and they were thinking, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Radha? Where are they? So that is a mood of devotional service that was prominent in our line. But Krishna's presence can be realized by the devotee. There was an account in the Nectar Devotion, it's cited, of South Indian Brahmin who was very poor, but he was very satisfied at the same time. He thought, okay, by Krishna's grace, I don't have very much. But he was very satisfied and peaceful. And then one day he heard a lecture by a devotee who was explaining you can perform devotional service within your mind. So he thought, okay, let me try that. So he would go into meditation, and in his meditation he would offer very opulent service to Krishna, to Lord Narayan. He was from South India. They worship Narayan there. So worship Lord Narayan in his mind, bringing water from all the sacred rivers in his mind. He would get beautiful golden pots and go to each of the sacred rivers and get water with which to bathe his deity of the Lord. And in his mind he would gather the most opulent, fine foodstuffs, and he'd prepare them and offer them to his deity. And then once he decided he was going to offer sweet rice to the deity. So he cooked it himself. He imagined, cooking a big pot of wonderful sweet rice. And he was going to serve it to his deity, to the Lord. And he said, okay, let me test it because it has to be the right temperature. I don't want it to be very hot. So he put his finger in the pot and it burned. And when he came out of his trance, he could see that his finger was burned. And meanwhile, in Vaikuntha, Lord Narayan is there with some of his associates, the goddess of fortune, others, and he's smiling and laughing. And they inquire, what are you smiling about? So this and he told them about what this Brahmin was doing, and he sent a Vaikuntha airplane, a Vimana, to bring that Brahmin to Vaikuntha, to be with him face to face. So in the nectar of devotion, this is given as an example of how a devotee can come to see Krishna face to face. So I'll stop there. Any questions or comments?